Ladies and gentlemen, have you ever felt the weight of silence, the kind that comes not from the absence of sound, but the absence of others? To be a woman with no friends is not a curse, it is often a calling. Solitude is a word that often carries a negative connotation, especially in a world that celebrates constant connection. But let me tell you, solitude is not a sentence, it's a sacred space. It is in the stillness of being alone that you discover the depths of who you are. There is no audience to perform for, no external voices to appease, and no expectations to fulfill. It's just you and the opportunity to confront the truth of your identity. When you are alone, you are left with the mirror of your own soul. And in that mirror, you see not only your flaws, but also your strengths. You begin to understand what drives you, what inspires you, and even what scares you. Solitude forces you to ask the questions that busyness helps you avoid. Who am I? What do I truly desire? What has God placed in me that I've yet to explore? Consider this: the greatest minds, the most transformative leaders, and even the prophets of old all experienced seasons of isolation. Moses had the wilderness, David had the caves, and Jesus himself often withdrew to desolate places to pray. Why? Because solitude is where revelation happens. It's where God speaks and where your spirit is quiet enough to hear. In solitude, you are free from the distractions of comparison. There's no one to measure yourself against, no competition to win, and no validation to seek. Instead, you start to measure yourself against the standard of your own potential. You begin to see what is possible for your life, not through the lens of others' opinions, but through the clarity of your own purpose. It is also in solitude that creativity flourishes. When the noise of the world is silenced, the whisper of inspiration becomes clear. Great ideas are often birthed in moments when the mind is free to wander, unrestricted by the expectations of others. Whether it's art, business, or personal growth, solitude creates the fertile ground for innovation and renewal. Moreover, solitude teaches resilience. When you stand alone, you learn to stand strong. You begin to trust your own voice, your own instincts, and most importantly, your Creator. You realize that your worth is not tied to who surrounds you, but to who you are becoming. So solitude is not emptiness, it is fullness. It is a time to rediscover the treasures within, to reconnect with your purpose, and to prepare yourself for the journey ahead. Every moment spent in solitude is an investment in the person you are destined to be. Friendship is one of the most profound gifts we can experience, but it's also one of the most misunderstood. Society often portrays friendship as something casual, effortless, and universal. But true friendship is neither random nor accidental. It is intentional and deeply tied to purpose. The friendships in your life are not just about who you enjoy spending time with. They are a reflection of where you're going and what you're called to do. Consider this: every relationship you maintain has the power to influence the direction of your life. The people you choose to walk with can either propel you towards your purpose or pull you away from it. True friends are not just companions, they are catalysts. They see the potential in you, even when you cannot see it in yourself. They challenge you when you're stagnant, uplift you when you're weary, and celebrate with you when you succeed. These are not the people who merely applaud your actions, they are the ones who align with your vision. Now reflect for a moment on the friendships in your life. Are they helping you grow, or are they keeping you stagnant? Are they sharpening you as iron sharpens iron, or are they dulling your edge? True friendships are about alignment, not just enjoyment. They are about walking in the same direction, not just walking together. Look at the stories of great leaders, innovators, and change makers. Their relationships often determine the trajectory of their journey. Moses had Aaron, David had Jonathan, and Jesus had his disciples. Each of these friendships was purposeful, rooted in a shared calling, and designed to fulfill a greater mission. But what happens when you don't have friends who align with your purpose? Perhaps you find yourself in a season where the people around you no longer resonate with the path you're on. This is not a sign of failure, it's often a sign of growth. Sometimes, as your purpose becomes clearer, the circle around you becomes smaller. This is not isolation, it's refinement. God removes those who cannot walk with you in your new season to make room for those who can. Friendship is not about quantity, it's about quality. It's not about how many people surround you, but about the depth of the relationships that truly matter. A single friend who supports your purpose is more valuable than a crowd that drains your energy. A true friend doesn't just stand with you in the good times, they walk with you through the storms, reminding you of your strength and the vision you carry. And here's an important truth: the friendships you seek will often be a reflection of the purpose you live. If you are unclear about your calling, you may attract relationships that are equally unclear. But when you know who you are and what you're striving for, you begin to attract people who resonate with that clarity. Like attracts like, and purpose attracts purpose. True friendship is also reciprocal. It's not just about what others can do for you, but about what you bring to the table. Are you the kind of friend who uplifts, challenges, and supports others in their journey? Are you the one who speaks life into their dreams and stands firm in their struggles? Purposeful friendships are a two-way street, built on mutual respect, trust, and a shared vision. In the end, friendship is less about proximity and more about alignment. It's not about who is physically near you, but who is spiritually, emotionally, and intellectually aligned with you. True friends don't just walk beside you, they walk with you toward the destiny God has for you. These are the relationships that don't just reflect where you've been, they reflect where you're going. To be set apart is to walk a path that few understand, a path that feels lonely at times, but one that is uniquely designed for you. It's not a punishment, though it may feel like it. It's not rejection, though it may appear as such. Being set apart is a divine strategy, a purposeful pause where God shapes you, refines you, and prepares you for what lies ahead. Throughout history, those who were destined for greatness were first set apart. Think about it. Before David became king, he was alone in the fields, tending sheep away from the spotlight. Before Esther saved the nation, she spent months in preparation, isolated from the world she would one day influence. Before Joseph ruled Egypt, he was cast into a pit, sold into slavery, and imprisoned all seasons where he was set apart. Each of these moments, though painful and confusing, were not setbacks but setups. God was working behind the scenes, aligning circumstances and building character for a purpose greater than they could imagine. When you are set apart, it often feels like a stripping away. You lose people, places, and even parts of yourself that no longer serve your journey. It can feel as though life is taking things from you, but in truth, it's making space. Space for growth, space for transformation, space for the new season that's ahead. Being set apart means stepping out of the crowd and stepping into clarity. It's a time when distractions are removed so you can focus on what truly matters. This isn't about isolation for its own sake, it's about preparation. There are lessons you can only learn when you're alone. There's a strength you can only develop when you're tested. And there's a purpose you can only uncover when you're quiet enough to hear God's voice. Sometimes being set apart feels like being misunderstood. People may question your choices, your direction, and your distance. They may say, why don't you spend time with us like you used to? Why are you so different now? But that's because they cannot see what you see. They don't understand the calling on your life or the weight of the purpose you carry. And that's okay. Being set apart means you're not looking for validation from others, you're looking for alignment with your destiny. This season of being set apart is also where resilience is born. It's in these moments when you have no one else to lean on that you learn to lean fully on God. It's in these times when you feel weak that you discover a strength you didn't know you had. Being set apart is not about what you lose, it's about what you gain. You gain clarity, you gain focus, you gain a deep, unshakable faith that becomes the foundation for everything you'll do. To be set apart is also to be elevated. But here's the truth: elevation requires separation. You cannot rise to new heights while holding on to old weights. Sometimes God will pull you out of familiar places and relationships because where He's taking you, those things cannot go. It's not rejection, it's redirection. It's not isolation, it's preparation. And preparation takes time. You may wonder, how long will I have to wait? How long will I have to walk this road all alone? But remember this: every moment of waiting is a moment of working. God is working in you, through you, and for you. He is building you into the person you need to be to step fully into your purpose. Being set apart is a privilege, though it doesn't always feel like one. It's a sign that you're chosen, that your life has a unique assignment. It's a reminder that you are not meant to blend in, you are meant to stand out. And standing out often requires walking a path that no one else understands. When you embrace the power of being set apart, you stop seeing it as a burden and start seeing it as a blessing. You realize that the time spent in the wilderness is not wasted, it's where you're forged. It's where your character is strengthened, your vision is sharpened, and your faith is deepened. It's the place where you become who you were always meant to be.